So they finally got SBF, the major crypto fraudster. And a lot of people said that they weren't going to get him. That's what Elon Musk said. He said that because of his political donations, that he would never be prosecuted. But here they came out today, and I watched them present, and they said they're serious. They're going to go after this guy. And not only are they going after this guy, they're going to go after other guys that are like this guy in the future. So what does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what it could mean for other cryptocurrency exchanges that the government views as similar to FTX. And then I can talk to you about the other crypto fraud that's going to be even bigger than the FTX crypto fraud that some people are talking about, but it's just on the horizon somewhere for all crypto holders. So, and then I have SBF's statement that he was supposed to appear in front of Congress today, and he got arrested, right, like the day before, so he couldn't show up and make his testimony. But his written testimony was published, and that's where he claimed that some people were saying that he was Jewish and that was inappropriate because of the connotations that come with that. So I'll show that. He basically, along with blaming anti-Semitism, he blames other people and takes very little responsibility for what he did, just claiming it was an honest mistake. So I can try to describe what I think happened or what it seems like happened, but he's facing 155 years and he's going to be locked up, no bail. And he says that he's sad and vegan. And because he's sad and vegan, he doesn't belong in jail. And I think maybe he thought he wasn't going to end up in jail either. You know, I think he thought maybe he was going to get away with it. The way he's been talking, it seems like he thought that because of his good nature and because he just wanted to do the right thing, that nothing bad was going to happen to him. So here he is. He is in jail in the Bahamas until at least February 8th. And we don't know yet whether they can accommodate his vegan diet. So I'll tell you about it. I'll show you all the things. I'll show you a little clip from the meeting the government did today. So the government is serious. They want you to know they're serious. Yeah, that they're going to go after fraudsters, and they're not afraid to go after crypto fraudsters. So, and is it a sign, like, is more coming? It seems like it. It seems likely that from what they said, that they're going to keep going after crypto scammers. So let me see what I can show you. Sam Bankman-Fried appeared in court today, and he said that he shouldn't go to jail because he's sad and vegan. That was on this headline until the headline was updated. But they claim that he's hidden away $300 million in a Brazilian firm that happened before the collapse of FTX. His potential prison sentence is 155 years if he's convicted of fraud, money laundering. Not only fraud, money laundering, multiple counts of wire fraud, money laundering, and then campaign finance fraud too, because of all the donations he made to politicians. And it wasn't, in this article, it says it was enormous donations to the Democratic Party, but I think people looked into it and it wasn't just the Democratic Party. It may have been mostly, but they actually supported some conservative politicians too. And they're saying that money was all ill-begotten money. All the money that went into politics should be returned, as a matter of fact. So all those people that got money are now the government says they're kind of on the hook for it because it was illicitly gotten. It was basically customer funds. So the donations that went to the Democrats and to some Republicans was not gotten in the good course of doing business, but was ill-begotten. Was taken from people's trading accounts. So they're claiming that's what the feds are saying. They're saying he spent a lot of money on his personal lifestyle, personal investments. And he did have a $30 million, I believe it was, apartment in the Bahamas, and you live in the Bahamas because you don't want to have people coming after you for taxes. So he was one of those rich crypto guys living a rich crypto lifestyle who claimed that he was into effective altruism, and he's still saying that. Effective altruism means he doesn't care about personal enrichment. And that's what he said in his statement too. He said, I don't care about personal enrichment. I've given more money away than I have in my bank account. So effective altruism, it's a way for people who think they're better than you and smarter than you to feel like they're very good people, but while thinking that they're superior and they're the ones that should make decisions for everybody else. That's effective altruism. So it's just a way to make as much money as possible and still say, oh, no, I make as much money as possible because then I give it away. And by give it away, I mean give it to Democrats in politics to influence politics, so I'll never get arrested for wrongdoing. Well, he got arrested. He got denied bail. They say he's accused of defrauding investors out of $1.8 billion. And that part of the fraud was convincing people that it was safe. So he went against the stated customer guidelines for when people sign up for the website. He went against what he said what it said in the guidelines, and he also lied when he said he never used customer funds for anything and that they were all safe. They weren't safe. So he ran Alameda, the way he describes it, and the way I think it went down is he ran Alameda, which is a crypto hedge fund, which was run by Carolyn Ellison, somebody he met at MIT. And these people are all like elites, basically. They went to elite schools, and they've been treated like they're better than other people probably most of their lives. So he went to MIT. His parents are kind of a big deal. He's sad, he says. And they ran a hedge fund, a crypto hedge fund, and then an exchange. And then they let the crypto hedge fund trade on the exchange and basically gave them an unlimited line of credit. That's kind of what happened. Is this hedge fund, which shouldn't have been involved with a crypto exchange, had an unlimited line of credit with the crypto exchange. And when shit hit the fan, which it did, then everything went something I can't say. It went wrong. Everything went wrong all at once. And SBF tries to blame CZ at Binance for that. So basically what happened is they made a token called FTT token, which is an exchange token, which they created out of thin air. And then they had a lot of the token on their balance sheet. And the token had some theoretical value. And a journalist working for CoinDesk exposed that their balance sheet was made up of this one crypto asset, which was printed out of thin air, which had no real value besides, that a few people were willing to pay for it based on the amount in circulation, but they had a bunch of it. And that got exposed. Then CZ at Binance said he was going to sell all of theirs. And then that created a bank run. And then that ended FTX. But it shows you that even people who think they're really smart, like the people running Alameda Research, people who think they're really smart, make big mistakes when it comes to cryptocurrency. And basically the hedge fund just blew up and it ended up taking down the exchange with it. So that's basically what happened. They got margin called and went broke. And he points out that everybody on the website was using leverage. Most, or a lot of people on the website were using leverage. And he said they weren't paying enough attention to their risk management. And if he had to do it over again, he would go back and they would see what kind of risk was being taken at any given time on the website. But CZ, so an article came out, CZ started selling, and then one thing led to another, and then the whole thing went bust. So what do we learn? Tokens printed out of thin air where one entity holds most of it can be really problematic. There's another token that's basically printed out of thin air, which is supposed to have something behind it, which doesn't, which also plays a big part in the FTX thing, which is Tether, USDT. That's a $65 billion probably Ponzi. I don't want to get sued, but maybe a Ponzi. I mean, in the sense that they haven't been able to prove they have any of the money. They probably do have some of it, but probably not all of it, given that they've been around for a while and no one's ever been able to verify that the funds actually exist. That's for USDT Tether, which apparently Alameda bought $35 billion of. That's apparently. So that thing in crypto is a thing that people holding crypto are going to have to deal with. And then whether Binance is going to be okay. I'll play the clip. I'll play the clip of where it sounds like they're going after other crypto exchanges. Or I'll play that. Let me see. Go to 12, 14. All right, here. I'll play this. This is where he says that other crypto exchanges are in their sites. Oops. Here.
One immediate takeaway from today's announcement should be that non-compliant trading platforms pose dramatic risks to both their investors and to their customers. Among other things, they don't provide them with the same robust level of disclosures and protections against fraud and conflicts of interest. That's what traditional U.S. registered securities exchanges provide. So it's imperative that non-compliant platforms come into compliance. But as Chair Gensler has made clear, the runway is getting shorter for them to come in and to register with us. And for those who do not, the Enforcement Division stands ready to take action. I'd like to recognize the incredible team from...
There you go. So he says they are ready to take action for anybody who doesn't follow their rules. So they could be coming for other exchanges. Just saying there are real good reasons to buy cryptocurrency, and certainly over the long term, but over the short term, these trading companies that do shenanigans screw with the value of the cryptocurrencies you hold. So probably after everything is all said and done, there'll be some regulations, and then the price will probably go to the moon. But in the meantime, I don't know. I'm half out myself. I'm half out. Long-term holder, and I'm looking for when everything really goes down after the demise of Tether. So let me show you some of the transcript from what Sam Bankman-Fried said, his testimony. Here, I have that pulled up. He has a specific part where he's going after people who had conspiracy theories, which I guess would include me, because I did talk about drug-fueled sex orgies, which he says are totally not true. He says there were not drug-filled sex orgies. And in fact, one of the drugs that he's been reported to be on, he's on for a good reason. So here's some of the claims that he's disputed. He says that they never manipulated Tether. He really spent a lot of the time blaming CZ for what happened to him, and fair enough. But it was that article that started it, and it was his fault that the thing went down. He says, amongst other things, false claims were made about him taking out Three Arrows Capital, which was another big crypto hedge fund that failed back during the last crypto crash. False claims, he says, that Alameda front ran customers. So in other words, use customer data to trade against them. He says the claims that he has billions of dollars stashed away personally is false, and that he only has $100,000 in the bank, he thinks. He said, as a believer in the effective altruism movement, my primary goal has never been personal enrichment. I'm motivated by a commitment to help bring happiness and alleviate suffering for others. I'm motivated by a commitment to bring happiness and alleviate suffering for others, he said. Various conspiracy theories involving myself, Ukraine, and the DNC. He said, any theory that I conspired with the government of Ukraine to do anything other than what I stated I was doing, creating pathways for contributions to Ukrainians and to their defense, is not just false, but deeply offensive. Any theories that a U.S. political party was further involved in such a conspiracy are themselves categorically false and offensive. Various claims. He said that he created a hard partying culture at FTX. Their parties were dinner and board games. He says he's never been drunk. Then number 8, he says various claims that I am Jewish. And he says, okay, technically this claim is correct. My name is Samuel Benjamin Bankman-Fried, and my ancestors mostly arrived at Ellis Island in the first half of the 20th century. I'll leave it to the reader to guess why they came. He says, but I don't think I need to spell out the implications being made. So, man, I guess there was one guy at CoinDesk, a writer, an African-American writer for CoinDesk, said that Kanye was right, for one thing. And then he said that to pay attention to what people have in common who are related to this bank failure, fraud, and he got fired for saying that, which, you know, given the climate, I guess it makes sense. But that did happen. So there were people who did say that. But I found other mentions to him being Jewish that weren't anti-Semitic. I mean, it just happens to be true. I don't know what he said. Why he says, I don't even have to say what that means. The Jerusalem Post called Sam Bankman-Fried the Jewish king of crypto. And I don't think the Jerusalem Post is anti-Semitic. So they actually called him the Jewish king of crypto. Sam Bankman-Fried, the rise and fall of the. So anyway, he says you don't even know. Don't even have to say what that means. So, and then he said that the drug he takes, he takes as an antidepressant, not as some kind of sophisticated stimulant. And he says for most of his adult life, he has been sad. So he is going to be sad and vegan in jail until at least February 8th, it looks like. And a lot of people are going to think he deserves it, even though, as a human being, I feel for him. He is kind of too nerdy to be in jail in a lot of ways. And he's probably not a threat to society in the sense that he's going to go hurt somebody. But he did hurt a lot of people. And there are probably people who took their lives as a result of, losing their money on that crypto exchange where they trusted him. So people trusted him and he let people down. And he claims he can make them whole again. He claims that they should have never filed Chapter 11. But who knows? They say there's $8 billion missing. So people lost a lot of money. People in the United States who used it supposedly are going to get their money back. So speaking of money, if you want to support the show, these videos are all demonetized. I thought I'd try to make this one and see if they demonetize this too, because this is not a controversial subject. But they demonetize every one of my videos. If you want to support the show, go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil, and you can leave a coffee or become a member to support the show on an ongoing basis. So, and I'll read those, and you can leave a note, and I'll read it on the show, and they don't take 30% like YouTube does. So I'm going to end the YouTube stream to leave this a digestible length and continue on Rockfin. So you can join me over on Rockfin at rokfin.com/lifttheveil. Rockfin.com/lifttheveil. And I'll go over there now. I'll drop a link in the chat. And for everybody on YouTube, you can catch me normally at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, here weekdays. All right. So for now, join me over on Rockfin. That's what it is.